brought to you by Penguin.
Capitalism and Its Critics by John Cassidy. Read by Nathaniel Priestley. Introduction. All history books are products of their own time, this one included. The original idea for it came to me in 2016, during the insurgent presidential campaign of Senator Bernie Sanders, and I made the final edits to the text shortly after Donald Trump was elected to a second term. Sanders, you may recall, claimed that the US economy was rigged and promised to make it work for working families and not just for the billionaire class. Trump was a billionaire himself, of course, but that didn't prevent him from positioning himself as the tribune of a forgotten working class and parlaying the grievances and discontents of many non-rich Americans all the way to the White House, twice. The rising disaffection with American capitalism that Sanders, and indeed Trump, drew upon in 2016 proved to be a lasting phenomenon. In 2018, the polling firm Gallup found that fewer than half of Americans ages 18 to 29 had a positive view of capitalism, compared to slightly more than half who had a positive view of socialism. Rising antipathy toward capitalism wasn't confined to the United States. In 2017, the British polling firm Populus asked people to list the traits that they associated with socialism, capitalism, and various other isms. For capitalism, the most commonly chosen phrases were innovative, greedy, and selfish. For socialism, the three most popular choices were fair, for the greater good, and delivers most for most people. The survey was commissioned by the Pro-Free Market Legatum Institute. I believe that free enterprise policies are a key driver of prosperity, Matthew Elliott, a senior fellow at the Institute, said when the poll was released. Sadly, though, it appears that a large proportion of British voters do not share this view. Originally, I conceived of the book as a shortish history of contemporary capitalism and the economic debates it has engendered, from the collapse of the Soviet Union to the present. However, I was quickly forced to confront the fact that many of the criticisms of modern capitalism, from complaints about rapacious platform monopolies and self-dealing bankers, to laments about the impact of technology on working conditions and inequality, have roots in economic developments and debates that took place during the rise of industrial capitalism in Britain and even before that. Writing in the late 18th century, Adam Smith, no enemy of the profit motive, railed against colonial monopolies like the East India Company, whose privileged position and egregious self-dealing marked them out as pre-industrial analogues of the too-big-to-fail banks that taxpayers bailed out during the global financial crisis of 2007 to 2009. Like the banks, the East India Company, which effectively ruled great swaths of the subcontinent, received a massive government bailout. As factory capitalism developed in northern England, some pre-industrial craft workers broke into textile mills and smashed new machinery that was threatening their livelihoods. For a long time, the Luddites, as they came to be known, were dismissed as antediluvian enemies of modernity. In a world where artificial intelligence is now threatening to eliminate countless jobs, their concerns about new technology look more reasonable. Criticisms of the growing gap between rich and poor were another feature of early industrial capitalism. In 1829, the Romantic poet Robert Southey wrote, "Great capitalists become like pikes in a fish pond, who devour the weaker fish. And it is but too certain that the poverty of one part of the people seems to increase in the same ratio as the riches of another." Eventually, I decided to expand the project into a broader history of capitalism and its critics. To be sure, I couldn't hope to cover everything, or nearly everything. Back in the 1950s, the English historian G.D.H. Cole wrote a history of socialist thought that took up 7 volumes. The first volume alone, which was devoted to the forerunners, contained 50 principal characters. In whittling things down, I was greatly helped by the fact that, over the centuries, the central indictment of capitalism has remained remarkably consistent.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?